Innovation is very important for all of us, and as such, it needs a very stable system of protection of intellectual property, and this is why discussing innovation and the future of energy in partnership with WIPO makes a lot of sense.
Innovation, of course, as you all are very much aware, is at the heart of, I would say, economic strategy for all countries these days, and also commercial and industrial strategy for all enterprises. It really is, I think, a general prise de conscience, awareness that we have witnessed of the importance of innovation, first of all, to economic growth, its importance, but disputed importance also to employment generation, because there are those who foresee, of course, great difficulties with employment in the future as a consequence of technological innovation. Its importance to the improvement of the quality of our material life, and lastly, and most relevantly for tonight, its importance in addressing social challenges. So where we have social challenges such as climate change, then the only way in which we're going to address them is to do things differently, and that means innovation.
The energy equation today cannot be solved without a significant dose of innovation. So that's the kind of message we like to not just to formulate, but we like to document. We like to bring data behind it. We like to inform.
The energy transition is probably moving faster than what we read on newspaper. So the energy transition is there, and it's going as fast as we can imagine, but even beyond what we can imagine. It's only a matter of willingness to understand that there is a case behind this innovation.
If I had to summarize three observations, the first one would be that business models have evolved significantly, and Bruno Lanvin mentioned this in terms of innovation as well. We have seen that at a small-scale level, business models are innovating, in particular to adjust to customers. Although a lot of innovation now in energy is emerging from developing countries, most of the innovation we see is still developed primarily in Europe and North America, but it is being deployed in emerging and developing countries. The capital remains in these geographies, so it is North American and European capital primarily that remains in these geographies because it invests in these startups where the innovation happens rather than where it actually gets deployed.
The most important policy in this regard is carbon pricing. If we put a price on carbon-intensive fossil fuel like coal, for instance, firms will have incentives to innovate and to find cheaper and cleaner substitutes like renewables. So we need to complement carbon pricing with massive R&D subsidies for clean energy sectors. And particularly, indeed, like Renduza mentioned, for SMEs, for new entrants.
We have in Morocco, given the pressure of strong pressure on the prices of the fossil fuel, decided to have a long-term strategy. And long-term strategy meant for us introducing renewable energies, driven by also a strong political will. It was not simple, not easy, because we had to introduce a lot of on institutional and legal framework. We had to work strongly to create the infrastructure, which is now there.
We'll see more innovations going forward in the energy sector, as we have seen over the last centuries. So this is definitely a very interesting sector, as energy is the force that really keeps our global planet running. So I'm very optimistic that we'll see a lot of innovations coming in. We need three sorts of innovation: market design innovation, we need the battery storage issue, and we need digital innovations.